Hi friends, I hope you all are doing well. Today we will be discussing one of the important direct tax reform launched by Shri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Prime Minister of India, related to transparent taxation system and faceless assessments. And to discuss this topic, we have CA Akshay Uppal with us. I welcome Akshay on our YouTube channel. To give a short brief about him, he is currently associated with one of the leading law firms of India and have been previously working with KPMG in the field of transfer pricing. So, not taking much of the viewers' time, over to you, Akshay.
Hi, thanks for giving me this opportunity. So I'll just get right to it. So these reforms, which have been introduced by our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, from the perspective of transparent taxation. So the main objective of these reforms, as announced by him, are to eliminate uh, basically to introduce a more transparent system of taxation and to eliminate the interaction between the taxpayers as well as the income tax department, and to inculcate a sense of responsibility uh, within the officers of the department to and to basically promote welfare of the taxpayers. So I'll just share my screen of a short presentation on this issue. So one of the main announcements made by our Prime Minister is the launch of Taxpayers Charter. So in this Taxpayers Charter, what the government has announced are some duties and some expectations that the Income Tax Department expects. So these are some of the responsibilities of the Income Tax Department towards taxpayers, which will serve as a touchstone of the interaction between the income tax department and taxpayers from now on. So some of these are some basic standards that the department is anyway expected to follow and to inculcate in the day-to-day interactions with the taxpayers. But it's just a difference that these have been codified and notified by by the government, and they will basically now guide the tax officials in their future interactions with the taxpayers. So these are some of these main points are that to provide fair, courteous, and reasonable treatment to the taxpayers, to treat the taxpayer as honest. Basically, it one of the basic problems that the taxpayers have been facing with in the day-to-day interactions with the department and in their scrutiny assessment proceedings are that the approach of the officer is that the taxpayer has done something wrong, or he's trying to evade taxes. That approach has been criticized a lot by the taxpayers, and it has been recognized by the government now. So they have directed the department by way of this charter that you don't have to assume that the taxpayer has done something wrong unless and until you discover some material or discover some incriminating fact or document which indicates that the taxpayer has done something wrong or has tried to evade taxes. Then only uh, you have to initiate such inquiries, or you have to question the taxpayers as such. So basically, these provide mechanism for appeal and review, provide complete and accurate information to the taxpayers, and not keep them in dark about what is happening in their cases and the status of their demands, refunds, etc. Provide timely decisions. This is one of the major problems that the taxpayers face these days. That uh, especially in the first appellate proceedings before the commissioner appeals, we see a, a huge backlog of cases pending with the department, and even in some set aside matters which have been restored to the assessing officers for fresh adjudication, they take forever to dispose of, and the taxpayer has to just keep pestering the officers and to just keep running after the officials to dispose of their cases. That is something which, by way of this charter, we yet to be seen whether it will make a difference or whether it will improve that or speed up that process or not. Then collect the correct amount of tax, basically to compute the correct tax demands and not create fictitious demands after the assessments, and to press for the recovery. Respect privacy of the taxpayers, just to maintain secrecy and maintain the confidentiality of the documents of each taxpayer collected during assessment proceedings or otherwise. Maintain confidentiality again, same. Hold its authorities accountable. Is somewhere it is expected from each government department that uh, you have to be accountable towards the citizens and towards the taxpayers. Enable representative of choice. Basically, each taxpayer already has and should have the freedom to choose who is representing them in front of the department and who is not. Provide mechanism to lodge complaint. Uh, Again, this is in a way already in place, just codified in the taxpayer charter. Provide a fair and just system. Publish service standards and report periodically, basically to publish the performance reviews and performance reports by CBDT to the taxpayers and keep them informed about the developments and the performance of the department. Reduce cost of compliance, uh, basically to minimize uh, unnecessary litigation. So the next sheet basically are some of the expectations that the department would have going forward from the taxpayers. So to be honest and compliant is a basic necessity of basic expectation of the government from the taxpayers. To be informed is basically to keep yourself abreast with the various developments of the tax environment, and to keep yourself informed about what basically the taxpayers, we see that they are not aware about even the basic provisions and the basic tax structures that affect them. It's just that they are dependent on their consultant and they themselves do nothing about it, and that basically that misinformation, or that basically if the taxpayer is not aware about anything, that is also wrong. So keep accurate records. Again, it's a basic requirement. Know that what the representative does on his behalf. It's very important that what positions that your tax consultant and what the chartered accountant or what the advocate during litigation or during compliance is taking on your behalf. You should be well aware, and you should have you should be informed about the ramifications of their actions before the tax authorities. So respond in time, basically to just not linger on the proceedings, or if any are pending, and you should respond to the tax authorities of any intimations or any notices that you receive. Pay in time, basically any demands, any legitimate demands that the department raises, you should pay it in time and not delay, or basically to save yourself also from unnecessary recovery proceedings or interest consequences. But that is only applicable when you feel the demand is legitimate. Otherwise, there are various other dispute resolution techniques that you have to adopt to. So this was in summary, in sum and substance, the taxpayers charter that our Honorable Prime Minister has announced on 13th of August. So one of the major reforms that has been announced by the government is the launch or is the implementation of the faceless assessment scheme. So basically, this scheme was announced last year in October 2019, whereby the e-assessment scheme 2019 was notified by the CBDT. Basically, I'll just touch upon the brief history of this reform that the government has now introduced. It's a radical reform, undoubtedly. So it all started in somewhere in financial years 2015 and 16, wherein uh, the email-based assessments were introduced in some metro cities on pilot project basis. So it was an experimental project through which the assessments were started to be conducted by CBDT on an optional basis on electronically. So to minimize the interaction between the taxpayers and tax officers, and to facilitate the taxpayers, and to introduce basically a digitization of the assessment proceedings. So later on in 2017, an instruction was issued by CBDT, and basically an ITBA portal was established, was launched by the CBDT, which is appearing in nowadays appearing in the e-filing portal of each taxpayer. Basically, it was a framework, and an infrastructure was created to carry out proceedings through the e-proceeding tab of the e-filing portal, and to basically to facilitate conducting of proceedings through electronic mode. So this was also introduced as an optional scheme in 7 metro cities in 2017. Then early in 2018, an instruction was issued by CBDT to the income tax officials that basically to mandatorily conduct all the pending income tax assessment proceedings through electronic mode, uh, unless and until the SSE objects to the carrying of proceedings through electronic mode. And some procedures was also identified. Some SOPs were notified by the CBDT on how to conduct the e-proceedings. Then in 2018, only later part of 2018, it was notified. It was an instruction was issued by CBDT then that all proceedings shall be conducted through e-proceedings, subject to some exceptions, which were broadly some search cases, investigation cases, reassessment proceedings, or non-PAN cases, or some set-aside proceedings. That is, when the cases are set aside from the higher appellate authorities for fresh adjudication, they were excluded from the scope of e-proceedings. And another exception was there where any in complex cases where the jurisdictional principle CIT recognizes a difficulty in conducting the proceedings through electronic mode. So then later on, last year, in the budget speech, our Honorable Finance Minister announced that a faceless assessment scheme would be launched in the later part of the year in a phased manner. Then after that, the e-assessment scheme 2019 was notified by CBDT on 12th of September 19 for conducting assessment through a faceless manner and through a team-based assessment proceeding. And basically it entailed the establishment of National E-Assessment Center. So briefly, this chart that is showing on the screen, it shows the main structure of the faceless assessment that the government has now implemented, and basically which was notified last year. So this e-assessment scheme was notified last year, but it was not made effective. It was notified, and the National E-Assessment Center was established, and it has now been implemented by way of an announcement by our Honorable Prime Minister, followed by notifications issued by CBDT, which have amended the earlier scheme notified by CBDT. And by basically they have now renamed the scheme from e-assessment scheme to faceless assessment scheme 2019, and they have introduced some minor changes in the scheme to implement it practically. And now a notification, an order has also been issued by CBDT on 13th of August only, that henceforth all the assessment orders will be passed through a faceless proceeding route and by the National E-Assessment Center only, and no proceedings shall be conducted by the respective assessing officers individually. There are just two exceptions that have been specified by CBDT, that cases which are assigned to central charges, or cases which are assigned to the international tax circles of the department. Otherwise, apart from these two cases, all the assessment cases henceforth will be conducted through a faceless manner, or obviously subject to the exceptions and exceptions notified in the e-assessment scheme and faceless assessment scheme now. So what has happened now is what will now happen is that the National E-Assessment Center, which is situated in New Delhi and which was established last year, it will act as a center point and a one point interaction between the department and the taxpayer. So all the notices and all the proceedings, basically National E-Assessment Center will be the face of the income tax department for the taxpayer from now on, for the purposes of conducting uh, income tax audit or income tax assessments. So these, if we see in the third column, that regional e-assessment centers will be established in across various cities, and now there are more than 30, there are around 30 cities in which the regional e-assessment centers have been established by the notification of CBDT on 13th of August. So each regional e-assessment center will comprise of these 4 units. So these 4 units are basically they have independent functions and independent roles in conducting the faceless assessment proceedings. For example, the assessment unit is basically the main unit that conducts the assessment proceeding for each case. And these verification unit, technical unit, review unit, these are the assisting units. So whenever the assessment unit needs some assistance or needs some verification of the information, it shall raise a request to the National E-Assessment Center, and that request will be forwarded to the verification unit for conducting further inquiries to some information or whatever. Uh, Similarly, if there is any technical help that is needed in a particular case with respect to, it can be for a legal advice or from an accounting perspective or from a forensic perspective, that request will be forwarded to the National E-Assessment Center by the assessment unit, which will be allotted to a technical unit on a random basis, which will basically, even amongst these units that are carrying out the assessment proceedings, there will be no inter-department interaction. All the interactions that will take between among these proceedings is through the National E-Assessment Center, and that too through an electronic mode only. So again, the review unit has a role in reviewing these orders passed by the National E-Assessment Center. Basically, the order, if there is any adverse inference drawn by the assessment unit, and the National E-Assessment Center has to pass a draft assessment order. Uh, basic to basically it's a way of issuing a show cause to the taxpayers, that they prepare a draft order and they inform the taxpayer that this adverse inference is proposed to be drawn in your case. If you have any objections, you have to submit your reply by this and this date. So after that draft order is passed, review unit is responsible for reviewing that order. And if they have any comments or any observations in that order, then it again flows back to the assessment unit for examination of those review points and for those review comments. And after receiving the inputs from the taxpayer, if still any adverse inference is being drawn, then if need be, an opportunity would be provided to the taxpayer again, and ultimately the assessment proceedings would be concluded through this manner. So these are some of the salient features of the faceless assessment scheme. Basically, the cases which are selected through a computer-aided scrutiny selection CAS scheme will be a more advanced version of that selection mechanism would be through data analytics and AI. Basically, if we see that more and more the focus of the department is on collection of more and more information through various sources. A major source is the statement of financial transactions, that is SFT reporting, to be done by various authorities and various parties, including post offices, banks, registrars, uh, basically there are various notified transactions, and there is a monetary threshold on various transactions which are to be reported by these authorities to the department against Japan. So income tax department, what it does is it applies these algorithms, and through data analytics schemes, they decide on the risk factor of each case. And based on that, only the selection for scrutiny cases is done. So if we see that even government has now said that the percentage and the proportion of cases picked up for scrutiny assessments is has been falling year on year. So that is basically the reason this data analytics and AI, that the government is now following a more focused approach towards picking up only those cases where the risk factor is high. So through this e-assessment scheme, what the government objects is that to eliminate completely the physical interface between the taxpayer and tax officers, and to basically to it's an end towards reaching a transparent taxation scheme, that there should be no scope for any wrongdoings or any allegations by the taxpayer or the department, that the whole assessment procedure should be transparent through this through the implementation of the faceless scheme. So some of the main features, some of the other features are that the territorial jurisdiction would be abolished, that you would not be subjected to the jurisdiction of a particular officer, or you would not be at the mercy of a particular tax officer for conducting your case. Instead, your case will be reviewed by several teams sitting in several cities, which have no idea about who you are, and you don't have any idea about who is reviewing your case, which basically to eradicate that sense of a human intervention, or a prejudice that may creep in case of a personal interaction with an officer. So and even the cases that are picked up and that are allotted through to the various assessment units or regional assessment centers are on a random allocation basis. So again, this has been notified only the central issuance of notices with DIN. So basically, this DIN document identification number was introduced last year, that uh, through a circular dated 14th of August 2019, in which it was specified that any communication by the income tax department to the taxpayer shall be accompanied by a unique document identification number, without which that that notice or communication would be non-est, and that is status to be treated as invalid. So again, there is no physical interface, no need to visit the income tax office. This is basically an outcome of the faceless assessment scheme that the government is now implementing. And team-based assessments and team-based review, basically, it is again the various units that I explained in the previous slide are basically teams, separate teams that are reviewing your case at different stages, and that team allocation, as informed earlier, is on a random basis. So and again, draft order in one city and review in another city and finalization in the third city. Basically, the order that the National E-Assessment Center passes, it goes through various review mechanisms, and each level of review is conducted by a separate team. So basically, the order which was recommended by a particular team, it shall be subject to the review of another team, which shall be allocated on a random basis. So to ensure to eliminate, the objective is to eliminate any scope of any error or any prejudice that might have crept in. So another feature is faceless appeals. That is the first appellate stage after each assessment. If there is any adverse order passed by the department in any case, the remedy that is available to the taxpayer is to approach the Commissioner of Income Tax Appeals. That is the first appellate stage. So by way of an amendment in Finance Act 2019, this faceless appeals, the concept of faceless appeals was introduced, and basically as faceless assessments, this similar scheme for appeals was also introduced. The scheme is yet to be notified, but the amendment, the basically the enabling provisions were introduced in the Income Tax Act, and we are yet to we are still the scheme is still awaited to be notified by the CBDT, and it shall be notified in near future. So this is it. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Over to Aditya.
Thank you so much, Akshay, for this wonderful deliberation on the transparent taxation system that is launched by the CBDT. So now to all our viewers, I request you to please subscribe our channel for getting regular updates on various burning issues related to direct and indirect tax systems of India. Uh, I request you to please subscribe our channel and like this video. Thank you, Akshay. Thank you so much.